Hello everybody, this is your man King Soyboy once again here to bring you another League of Legends video. Today we'll be featuring Amumu, the sad mummy. This video will talk about runes, masteries, and item builds and choices you can do to jungle Amumu, and hopefully this video can be some help. For the runes, I like to take magic penetration reds, armor yellows, scaling magic resist blues, and movement speed quintessences. This allows me to be really tanky, and the movement speed quints allow me to pull off ganks a lot more easily. For masteries, I like to be very heavy in the defensive tree. Once again, just to make myself really tanky, Amumu really isn't the greatest damage dealer in the game, so you want to do what you can and soak up as much damage as possible. I also took the 9 points in the utility just so I can get the increased buff duration. Amumu has a hard time jungling without some of his buffs because he's really mana reliant. Like blue buff is really key early on. You want to keep it as long as possible just to get the maximum use out of it and stuff like that. For other things of that nature, well, stuff happens. The movement speed mastery also helps with ganking and stuff of that nature. The runes, the masteries, the boots, it's all good stuff. We'll be starting the video now, and we'll talk as we go. For items, there are a lot of items that work really well on the Mumu, such as boots of mobility. On top of your runes and masteries, this will allow you to get really close for your ganks to make sure they work and have a higher probability of working. Sunfire Cape's good. Abyssal Scepter's good because you'll be in the middle of all of them, and the AoE effect of Abyssal Scepter will drop all their magic resist by 20. Great utility for the team. And yeah, just build as you go. Build whatever your team needs and stuff like that. Amumu is more of a support and utility jungler. Like I mentioned before, he's not the greatest damage dealer in the world. So yeah, he's also not very good at doing dragon by himself, so have to have your team there with you. Once again, LOL replay is being a pain in the rear. Oh, there it goes. So for starting items on a Mumu, you want to start with the usual stuff. Machete and 5 potions. It's pretty standard, and there's really not much else you'd want to go for. I've once saw a couple people start with boots and 3 potions for the early ganks, but that's just personal preference. I think the machete and the potions are a lot better because it helps you clear jungle camps faster and it gives you some sustain. We'll be moving this right on ahead.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
You always want to be careful when you're jungling Amumu for the level 1s. A lot of people like to invade Amumu because they know he has a really hard time jungling without having a blue buff present and stuff like that. After clearing your blue, you want to run to your red as soon as possible, skip raids and everything. Like I said, a lot of people like to counter jungle Amumu because he's really weak early on and he's really reliant on these buffs. And I'm lucky that the enemy jungle didn't show up to try to kill me. Most of the time they will try whatever they can to stop you. Now for ganking as Amumu, you should always save your bandage toss for when you have a clear shot at it. If you rush your bandage toss with max range, there's really high chance of missing it, so just wait for that clear shot for the easy hit and your ganks will be a lot more successful that way. Patience is really the key to making Amumu ganks work, so you always want to be careful of that. Okay. Let's just move this sprite back on ahead. Let's go back, clear the jungle, get all the items you can. You can also get around the jungle more easily by doing bandage toss over the walls. It saves you a couple seconds, not that much, but it's real fun to do, in all honesty. I really rather not spend my time walking around a giant wall when I could just bandage toss over it. On your first buy back, I was originally planning on buying a Spirit Stone to help me clear the camps faster, but because of the first blood we got with the gank, went right on ahead and bought my Boots of Mobility. The increased speed will allow me to do ganks a lot more easily. I find Kha'Zix, except I don't want to engage him. I know he does a lot more damage than I do, and it's not a risk I'd like to take this early on. Right? I move up to try to gank the Kennen, except he just runs away when I get close to the bush. We know it's warded, so I'm going to move right back on over to ganking the Victor. Once again, I want to be patient with my bandage toss. Use my Boots of Mobility to get as close as possible, and then I'll drive him and after he drives himself into a corner, there's an easy stun available, and I go for it then. Victor's really weird movements are something you'll see a lot of people do. They'll try to move back and forth as much as possible to dodge the bandage toss they expect you to throw. If you just save it, all their movements will be for naught, and you can pick up an easy kill that way when you finally get in range. So yeah, remember, patience is the key. Max range trigger finger Amumu's ganks are not very successful, at least not most of the time, unless you get lucky. I finally got my Spirit Stone after going back. I got a couple wards too, to see if anyone needs the help. The Kha'Zix jumps on my... I don't even know what the new champion's name is yet, to be honest. What I'm doing here is something I don't recommend doing. I like to make risky plays as a Amumu because it's fun, but I noticed Kha'Zix went to go do his blue, so I followed him up and I go steal it. Whenever I do this, usually I die, except luckily my bot lane came into position and we're going to change that. And another thing I want to mention is after I come gank Amumu, as you can see, Janna is the Scourge of the Earth because her ulti cancels out your lockup ulti as Amumu. You root them all in place, but like it's a root, not a stun, so Janna's Monsoon can push everyone out the way, and it also pushed me into the tower at the same time. It's a real pain in the butt. You'll see her cancel out my ulti multiple times throughout this video. And yeah, you're just gonna hate her whether she's on the enemy team ulting or if there's someone on your team that ults everyone away after you stun them, because she is afraid she's gonna die. Happens all the time. Well, not really. Most people avoid playing Janna nowadays, but back in the day, oh man, Jesus Christ, it was a real pain. Once again, we're gonna move along in the video. Nothing really interesting happening here. Sorry I can't skip this. I still don't have a movie maker or something, a video editor, so we can go through all that. I'm just gonna fast forward. Once again, we move in to gank the Victor. My Lissandra, that's her name, Lissandra decides to initiate with her ulti, and then I flash bandage toss. Unfortunately, Victor gets out the way with his own flash, and we get into a small skirmish. My Lissandra ends up dying, and I pick up the kill on Kha'Zix for a 1v1 trade. Except it's not over yet. My Ezreal's coming in, and he wants to do a gank off on the Victor. Even though I'm low HP, he wants to tower dive, but if we can get a kill for him, it will be worth it in the end. He's thinking of leaving, but he decides he wants to go back in. That we can do this. So after I see Victor come back into range, you do a quick tower dive on him. Unfortunately, I do die, but it's all worth it. Like I said, kill for the carry for my death. 1 for 1. No problem. We'll do that trade any day. Alright. Let's see. Right now I got my chain vest. I'll be working towards a Sunfire cape. Like I said, it's a pretty good item. And you also want to build other things. I'll talk about that in a second. We come in to pull off a gank, except as you can see, Janna once again pushes me away, but she didn't wait for me to use my ulti, so works out. Ezreal gets taken down by Draven ulti, but it's 1 for 1. It's no, well, we don't want to feed the Draven, but it happens. And yeah. I see my Lissandra's getting a 1v2, so I'm just going to wait over the wall in case they try to tower dive her. Bandage toss range is pretty far, so I should be able to reach them if they jump. They decide not to do it, so we're going to move out. Nidalee's coming down. She wants to pull a gank off on the Victor, so we'll 3-man her as soon as she's done messing around with that camp. We move in. We start off with Lissandra ulting Victor to stun him in place, and then my stuns come into play. Unfortunately, Lissandra gets bursted down. She overstayed her welcome when we had a free kill. You'll see players do that a lot too, staying too long. They want to get the kill for the extra gold, but people should recognize when someone's guaranteed to die and it's not worth putting yourself in danger just to get the kill. If she just backed off earlier, would have been a 1 for 0, which is much better than 1 for 1. Once again, I go check for the blue, but it's not there. So I'm not gonna, since I'm in the area, I'm gonna come down to gank bot lane once again. I'm gonna save my ulti once I find it's a good spot, and when I do land it, I want to chain my own ulti with my bandage toss to get a max duration crowd control effect down on someone. I did it on Draven, which first rooted him in place with my ulti, and then I stunned him shortly after, causing a 4-second, somewhat like a 4-second stun, which allowed us to take him down. We try to go for Dragon, although it really doesn't work out in our favor. Kha'Zix chunked my Soraka and Ezreal really low, and they both ended up dying. It's really unfortunate. Lissandra decided it was better to go get her blue than come help us at Dragon. Ezreal and Soraka probably would have survived if she showed up, putting down that extra pressure. Although I guess blue buff was more important to her, so yeah. Scumbag Lissandra. Now for items this far into the game, I have my boots of mobility. I have my Giant's Belt and my Chain Vest for extra HP and tankiness, for more armor. I also upgraded my Spirit Stone to a Spirit of the Ancient Golem. It reduces the cooldown of Smite, so it comes up more often. It also gives me 10% cooldown reduction, which is really nice. And the most important stat it gives me will be the Tenacity, which is crowd control reduction, such as stuns, slows, roots, silences, etc. by 35%, which is extremely useful since I decided not to get Merc Treads and I got Boots and Mobilities instead. Here's what I was talking about before. Janna constantly with that Monsoon is a big pain. Fortunately, I had Flash to get back into range to cast my ulti off. And Lissandra comes in to help the gank out. Kendon's coming in, she has her ulti, except we're trying to chunk her down as low as possible, scare her away. And for one reason or another, we decide to go in on her, and she Zhonya's before she casts her ulti. A huge mistake by Kennen. She could have killed us all with that. And now Victor is gonna be in trouble. Well, not really. He has Flash over the wall. Tried to come down and help his team by having 0 mana. It was fantastic. Oh man. I don't know what to do with my life anymore. It's too early to make a video. Oh well. Moving on. A lot of farm middle. Let's clean that up. Victor wants to try to harass me. He hurts quite a bit, except I really don't care. I just want to get some gold so I can go back and buy my Sunfire Cape to allow me to do that extra damage on top of my DOT. Oh my god, that is so not the slow down button. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're gonna back that up a bit. Apparently, 10 million miles an hour is not the best way to make a video. Oh god, I rewinded, yet I still have my Sunfire Cape. Oh god, Jesus Christ. What the hell is happening here? Okay, okay. So my Nidalee is being chased by Kha'Zix and a cannon. So I come, oh my god. So I come down and help her out. I get my ulti when I feel like they're getting pretty close to get out of range, just to lock them up in place. My stun is going to be up in 4 seconds, so I'm going to try to keep as close to them as possible to get that off just in case they get out of range. Fortunately, nothing can get away from a Nidalee because of her pouncing strike and cougar form, so that doesn't seem to be the case it's needed. And yeah, in teamfights, you are an extreme power presence due to your crowd control effects of your ulti, which will lock everyone in place. A lot of people fear this ability because you can turn the tide of a team fight extremely quickly and stuff like that. I land the bandage toss on the cannon so we can go for the kill. Unfortunately, Nidalee's spear not only misses, but since I'm more of a support jungler, I do not have the damage needed to take down cannon. As you saw, I probably did about 100 damage. Really not that lot. I see blue buffs back up, and at the same time, I want to try to make a play for dragon, so I'm just going to take that, not only for the mana regen for myself, but to make sure Lissandra doesn't go for blue when we try to go for dragon next time around. Mainly because I don't trust her. I should really give it to her, but I don't trust her. So, yep. Moving on, you really don't need your red buff because you really don't auto attack much. It's best to give your red to your AD carry as soon as possible. Usually I do this during the second blue, but I waited till a third on this one. Because red buff will allow your carry to outscale the enemy. Because red buff gives you true damage on hit and it slows at the same time. Real useful and stuff. So yeah, red dragon's up. I have the blue. Lissandra's coming because she has no blue to go to. She wants to be cool by jumping over a wall, except now she has no way to catch the enemies when they get into range. Freaking scumbag, trying to get the style points. So after we get the blue, we go in to get this kill. Team fight starts. I get into position and I throw out my ulti. And we're gonna keep fighting. Unfortunately, I die shortly after that for tanking a lot of damage. Red team double kill. So my team's trying to do their best to take down this cannon. And yep, team cleans up. Get an ace, GG, no problem. Go victory. Let's go home. Ba ba da da da. And Amumu for team fights. Gonna do a quick recap of that. So since I went a little bit loopy on and going overboard. Once again, right after we clear the dragon, we're gonna want to go in on this. As Amumu, your ulti turns tides of team fights, so when you get into position, you want to cast it off. Don't ever save your team fight. I mean, don't ever save your ulti in a team fight trying to get 5 people with it. even if you catch 2 people, that's enough. It will lock down 2 members, and you can make the fight into a 3v5 instead of a 5v5. Most Amumus who decide to save their ulti end up going through the entire team fight without using it, and because of their team dies and then they ulti, and there's really, you pretty much put a huge dent in your own team's damage. So never do that. Once again, we're going to move forward. I noticed my Soraka doesn't have an Aegis or anything to help the team's resistances, so I'm just going to start building that. The bow works great against this team. They've got 2 APs, Kennen and Victor, so the AoE magic resist buff will be useful. Same with the armor buff to lower the damage of Kha'Zix and Draven. Because they both hit like trucks. Very, very scary trucks. Dude. We're gonna small skirmish around. I really want to start a team fight, my ulti. First gonna wait for my Ezreal to get back, and unfortunately they leave, but we're gonna keep moving forward anyway. I initiate the team fight with a quick bandage toss and then ulting to stun the Janna and the... My god. My god, no! Wrong buttons, wrong buttons, wrong buttons, no! God damn. Okay, we're gonna try this once again, take 2, no problem. You guys didn't see anything. I don't need no editor. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna initiate the team fight with my bandage toss. Here, I'm gonna toss my ulti as fast as possible, and as you can see right there, Janna's Scourge of the Earth, like I mentioned earlier in the video, her ulti will neutralize your ulti. It will push your entire team away, and it will throw you in one awkward direction. Fortunately, my team is able to be quick on the reaction, and I walk out the back end. I'll try to loop my way back around to help my team, but right now, as you can see, Kennen has a really good ulti. It's my Nilly trap, my Lissandra trapped, and my Ezreal trapped. With the help of the tower, this will do a lot of damage to my own team. Although, she wasn't able to take anybody down. She did Zonia's to reduce herself from taking damage, so she couldn't cast her other skills. My Nilly is being manly and all this stuff, trying to do as much as she can, fighting by herself, and she manages to pick up the kill on Kha'Zix. As she's running away, we're trying to throw all the poke we can over the wall. Unfortunately, she dies, and my Ezreal's fighting by himself. I'm trying to get into position so I can throw my ulti, except I really can't see a clear shot. Not my ulti, my bandage toss. Once I finally see it, I'm just going to jump right on over. Damage Draven as much as I can. Sunfire Cape, Tears, and... BAM! He is dead. Yes. So yeah, once again, be patient with your bandage toss and stuff of that nature. That's pretty much all there is to Amumu. Build items to help your team out. You're great at initiating and stuff of that nature. I'm just gonna let the rest of this video play in the background, because it's covered the major parts of Amumu jungle. When ganking, save your bandage toss until you find a clear opportunity to throw that out. You really don't want to rush your bandage toss with max range shots hoping to land a stun. It's very, very risky, and it doesn't always work, and because of this fact, a lot of kills get away when they could have easily been secured. In team fights, don't save your ulti to try to get 5 people with it. even locking up 2 people is better than locking up none, and if you activate it too late or in a bad place, you'll end up losing a team fight and stuff like that. As you can see, I tried to, if you're watching the last team fight, I tried to save it to get into a better position, and I ended up dying without really helping my team, so that's what I was talking about. Items that will help Amumu are Sunfire Cape for HP and armor. Boots and mobility help ganking a lot more easily. Merc treads are also recommended because it gives you CC reduction, which is really it's fantastic if there are a lot of stuns, slows, everything else, stuff like that. For the early game, you want to get your red as soon as possible because the enemy will try to counter jungle it and stuff like that. So yeah. I really don't know what else I should be going over as a Mumu other than build what your team needs. If you notice your support doesn't have an Aegis, then build one, help her out. You can also buy wards on a Mumu. After you have your first couple items, it's really all you need. Just help your support out with these wards or an oracle. You can provide a lot of vision for your team, which is essentially what your team needs to win. Abyssal Scepter is also really great. Drops the magic resist of your opponents. I'd recommend this item against a heavy AP team, or if your own team has a lot of magic damage. With a AP mid lane and an AP top lane, it's a good example. If you notice your support did build a bulwark, you can also get the Shurelias for the movement speed passive, or Locket of Iron Solari for the 5-man shield. And yeah, once again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions on any champion, feel free to send me a friend request over League. My name is King Soyboy. 2 words, King and then Soyboy. Next video we'll be featuring Jarvan. It's a special request by my friend I've known for a long time. He recently wanted to learn how to play League, so I'll be making a video on him next. So I won't be taking any requests this week. People who have sent in a request for the previous weeks, I'll try to get to those, except I can only take one video at a time, one game at a time, champion at a time, I mean. And yeah, we'll let the rest of this game play out, and yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. I'll be making more videos as soon as I can. I'm really busy with school and work. I try to release at least one video a week, just to be consistent. More than one if possible. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Team's inhibitor Ace. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
This guy right here, Omega Taco Bell. I know he's my friend, so I'm just gonna say something real quick. Major scumbag. It's okay, he'll never watch this part of the video. Don't worry, he won't hear about this unless someone leaves it in a comment. GG.